Keep it going for applause. Love applause. So, my wife and I just got back from India. That's right, true story. Just got back from India a few weeks ago. Now, if you're wondering to yourselves, why India? Allow me to elaborate. My wife's parents came to America from India in the 1960s. She was born here in the 1970s, therefore she is Indian American. Now, when I first met my wife 10 years ago, well, she wasn't my wife then. That would have been awkward. When we first met, she was a stranger who then became a friend, and then she became my girlfriend, and ultimately she became my wife. It was a whole process. Anyway, I digress. So, up until a few weeks ago, my wife hadn't been to India in over 11 years before we met. Now, not only was this my first time in India, this was my first time leaving the United States. And it was beautiful, man. India is a beautiful country full of many wonders and marvels to behold. The people, the food, the architecture, the art, the cows. Now, I know it's nothing for us here in America to see a cow. You know, you drive on a country road, see some cows grazing off in the pastures. Now, I don't know why American cows choose to reside in the country. Maybe it's the low crime rate. Perhaps gentrification pushed them out of the urban areas. I don't know. I just know when you see cows in America, it's always in the country. India got city cows, man. Cows living smack dab in the middle of the city, blocking up traffic, panhandling. I had a cow run up on me like, brother man, can you spare me some change? I was like, whoa, your English is impeccable. Now, why cows in India choose to reside in the city? I don't know. Perhaps the job opportunities are better there. All I know is I saw one cow standing on a street corner selling her own milk to support her family, man. It's a sad situation, y'all. Now, before I met my wife, I had heard some horror stories from some of my boys who had been in relationships with Indian women before. You know, stories about how their parents wouldn't even talk to them, or how the parents would completely disregard the relationship altogether and continue to try to set their daughters up with other Indian men. So when my wife, who wasn't even my wife yet, we were just dating and not even talking about marriage, when she came to me and was like, it's time for you to meet my parents, I was like, oh, heavens no. Well, I didn't use the word heavens. Anyway, she kept trying to reassure me that everything was going to be fine, that her parents would love me. I was like, but I've heard horror stories. She was like, don't be racist. I was like, I can't be racist. My girlfriend is Indian. She was like, I know, I'm your girlfriend. I was like, oh, right. Anyway, so my wife grew up on the outskirts of Detroit, Michigan. As a matter of fact, her parents still live there. Now, the plan was she was going to fly out a couple days before me because she had a conference to attend, and she would lay the groundwork. Then I would fly out, meet the parents, maybe get jumped. I don't know. It is Detroit after all. Her parents might be gangster. So the day I'm supposed to fly out to Detroit, I'm sitting on an airplane, you know, waiting for the plane to take off at BWI, and I get a text from my wife, who wasn't my wife at this point, apologizing because she was still at a conference and would not be able to meet me at the airport. But don't worry, her parents would still come to pick me up. How do you expect your man to meet your parents for the first time by himself? It was a setup, y'all. So we land in Detroit. I get off the plane, grab my luggage, and I'm waiting outside on the sidewalk, waiting for her parents. And I'm pacing, I'm nervous, I'm shadow boxing because I don't know what's about to go down. And I see her parents roll up. So I grab my luggage, and I start walking over to the car, and I see her parents get out the car, and I stiffen up. But then I see her mom has this big old smile on her face. And she walks over to me and gives me the warmest hug. And then her dad comes around the car and he shakes my hand. They grab my luggage and they load it into the car and we take off. Now, as we're heading to their house, We're chatting it up. We're getting along. We're laughing, having a good time. They're telling me all about their family. And come to find out, most everybody in their family is doctors. I thought, this is perfect, because mostly everybody in my family is patients. It was a match made in heaven, y'all. As a matter of fact, at our wedding reception, her family had set up stations so my family could go around to get mammograms, prostate exams. I even had a cousin that gave birth during the electric slide. Anyway, thank you all so much. That's my time. Thank you to the veterans. Thank you for your sacrifice and for your service.